baby.
But think about it. Think about it. When you say that like a specific race is a certain way, you're kind of classifying everybody like everybody's that way. Like you got
I
some
mean, we're
jerks
not
who
gonna
are
get
white,
into
you got some jerks who are
we're
black,
not
but we're
gonna get
not
into
going there.
stereotypes. No, you're driving the car in a completely different direction,
Okay.
going down the wrong road.
You're supposed to follow your man.
I want
If
to
you see
follow
a man
you.
do a little skirt, you
So
need to.
should I follow your original plan, where we said what we was going to talk
I
about,
feel
or should I follow
a sense
the
of petty.
secondary
I feel-
plan that you're coming up with on this?
I feel a sense of confusion.
I feel a sense of confusion.
What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Adrian, Diana Ross. I mean, Anna. Hey, I want an end. Okay, seriously. It is your boy Adrian. Of course, we have.
Your girl, LaShow.
And this is the Make It Make Sense podcast.
Where
where
we come at you topic by topic with crazy scenarios.
line upon line. And we are showing you how sane we are
Mm-hmm.
and how crazy y'all are.
Can we
You know what I'm
pause for
saying?
1 second?
Let's
though?
pause.
I just want to know. I feel
With
like
somebody who loves me.
you know, Tabitha Brown. She named her hair Donna. I've never named my hair, but my hair oftentimes.
If you name your hair, it's weird.
I don't think it's weird.
It's weird.
My hair is her own personality. I think if I made a hair page and never showed my face, people will follow my hair.
They would definitely follow your hair only because it's difficult to lose. Like you have to follow it. It's like you remember like the whole burning bush thing? How can you ignore the burning bush? You know
I don't know how I feel about you taking my hair compared to burning bush. However, in the comments, I need help. I would like to name my hair. I would like to give her a name.
Please
okay?
don't.
And let me know if you're feeling the look. This is my first time trying this look in years. My hair was shorter years ago when I
Anyone
tried
who
this.
puts a name in the comment for her hair is weird. By my standards. It's
Well,
weird.
you're dating me. I'm a weirdo.
I'm just glad that it's your hair. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Wow,
that it's
baby.
real. But you know what? On
All
the
hair
topic of being
matters.
real, no, all hair does not matter. But
Could get
on the
canceled.
topic of being real, especially we're doing this podcast here,
Mhm.
there is so much fakeness online.
There is.
There's a lot of fakeness. And how do you do you feel like you're fake online? Let's be real. Like, how fake are you?
I mean, what constitutes as being fake? Because what I do feel is I'm not going to put all my business online. Like, I'm not going to put all my lows. I have been vulnerable online at times. I have no problem talking about the fact that I was diagnosed with high anxiety, moderate depression, that I was once on medication for. Like, there's a vulnerability.
There's more. You could say the rest. It's a plethora.
You're pissing me off.
The rap sheet is crazy.
But I have no problem admitting certain things, but I think that I have to be in a place of peace with it. But I do think there's a lot of fakeness, even, from a relationship standpoint. There's been a lot of people who have blasted themselves, like certain couples, who have made money on TikTok and things for being like the
fake.
picture perfect
sure.
couple. There's one couple in particular, they're an interracial couple. I don't know their names, and if I did know their names, I probably wouldn't say it.
Right.
But they're an interracial couple, and they blasted themselves. They come off like, oh, this,
Is it with the bald guy?
Yes.
The white bald
Yes,
guy?
yes.
Okay, yeah. So now y'all know who it is too.
So, oh, he made me a stay-at-home mom and all these different things, and they make all this race integrated
She's
content.
like, oh yeah, you should date a white guy because dating a white guy. First of all, I have a lot of white people in my family. My grandfather's white, so I'm not, the separation. I'm closer to white people than she is. She's more racist enough. However, but no, seriously, like it is weird. I think that's the weirdest thing when you classify somebody by their race. Like I'm just saying, racism is kind of weird.
Baby.
And I know we're not going there.
Baby.
But think about it. Think about it. When you say that like a specific race is a certain way, you're kind of classifying everybody like everybody's that way. Like you got some jerks who are white, you got some jerks who are black,
we're not
but
going to get into stereotypes. No, you're driving the car in a completely different direction, going down the wrong road.
You're supposed to follow your man.
I want to
If you see a man do a little skirt, you need to.
Should I follow your original plan, where we said what we was going to talk about, or should I follow the secondary plan that you're coming up with on this?
I feel a sense of confusion.
I feel a sense of confusion too.
It's all good.
No, but going back to our original topic of the couples, right? Or what's being fake. These couples have painted themselves to be picture perfect, and then comes out like, mind you, she says she's a stay-at-home mom who takes care of her, all these things. But then she made a live during an argument where she noted, she said, I'm paying all the bills, you not working, I bought this for you, I bought that for you. Another woman noted that she was a stay-at-home wife and she was in a hypergamous relationship where she was dating a very wealthy man, then comes out and unfortunately finds out that her husband was not only abusing her, and she was still getting abused, but putting it out there that her life was great, but also found out that he potentially, or was, I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't know what's going on since then, but SAing the children as well.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, eventually she came out online and admitted to these things. But I question, even with us, right? People have said to us, previous us to making this, that we're their favorite couple, right? And
I love that. I love that.
right.
I think that just means that we're sending out good energy into the
Mhm.
world, and I feel like we're very real about it. I think that we're kind of authentic and
But are
honest.
we honest? Like, do you feel like we portray ourselves in a way that could be considered fake?
Well, the question will then be, how much are you releasing of your true self? So online, like, it's cool to share things online, but I don't think you have to give the whole package. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? You give as much as you're comfortable sharing with the world, and then that's cool. But I think the fake part comes in when you start perpetrating, almost like the story that you said with the young lady and the gentleman that was kind of perpetrating a lifestyle. But here's the weird thing. Our culture is such that we promote that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
so these people who are promoting the lifestyle that everybody wants, they're actually making boatloads of money because
They
people are
are.
following, people are, buying from their Patreon, or they're supporting them financially. So the question really becomes, what is fake? You know what I mean? Like, because if you look at it as your job, I mean, you have jobs, you
Mhm.
own your own company, and so do I. But are we our company? And if we're portraying an image through our company to represent the company, is that who we are? And should we be called fake for it? I don't know. So what is fake? How do you tell?
I think if I'm portraying one type of lifestyle and saying I don't do these things or these things are not applicable to me, but they are, I think that's fake. So for instance, if I were to say we have the perfect relationship, we never disagree, we never get into it, he dotes over me all the time, all the
Dope.
different
You gotta define that.
dotes, dotes like
Dope.
dotes like pines over me all the
I feel like she just made that
time.
word up. But
No, you always like a loving and doting. Anyway, we'll look it up. Can y'all look up doting for me for a second, or dote? Because
that's
he
it's not a word.
always,
First
every
of all, you
single
can't even
time,
spell the word if you want.
Doting. Every time I say a word,
Dotting.
what is it?
So doting, DOTING, right?
Yes.
Extremely and uncritically fond of someone.
Oh, thank you. So we go through this
I
all the
stand
time
corrected.
with my vocabulary. I will use
Oh
words
Lord.
that he's not
Oh
familiar with,
Lord.
and rather than say,
Oh
"Oh, babe,
Lord.
what does that mean?" He tells me that he doesn't think that it's a real word, which
I
it
think
feels
that's healthy.
slightly insulting to my intelligence. And
Oh my
every single
goodness.
time the word exists and my definition was on point of exactly what it is. Sometimes when you have such a
Here we
vast
are
vocabulary
being
knowledge,
fake online.
you know.
So have all your words panned out?
Yes. The only words that don't pan out are the ones that I actually admit are fake, that I make up on the
Hey, I
spot.
wanna dance with some. We're gonna let that slide. If it don't apply, let it fly.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
make
let
up
it
words,
happen.
but I admit when
No,
the
no,
words are
no.
made up. Dotes and doting are anyway.
Right.
I think that I'm pretty authentic online. I don't think it's necessary to overexpose yourself, but I do think people have a habit of being fake, and wanting to portray a certain lifestyle because money comes with it, because certain people may look at you a certain type of way. Even when people see me and they may feel, oh, she's doing all this public speaking and these engagements and has these contracts, like, I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. I go through it like everybody else go through it. Mentally, I go through it. We have our moments where we have to reconnect and be very what's the word? Intentional between the two of us. And I think it's important for us to note that I'm not perfect. He's not perfect, but we have intention, and I think you have to have intention with yourselves. I would question this: is the real issue vulnerability? Make it make sense. Why is it that certain couples or people or individuals come online? And I think sometimes we can feel the pressure, right, to
Mhm.
be a certain type of way. But is it an issue of vulnerability
I
that
think
comes
I
into
think
play?
vulnerability definitely comes in very strong, but the expectations that first of all, the expectations that we put on ourselves. Um, and a lot of times these expectations that we put on ourselves really show our assumption of what we think people are putting on us in terms of their
Hmm.
expectations. Sometimes it's true, sometimes people do expect us to do certain things, and other times as like a mechanism of safety or self-preservation, we kind of put these things on ourselves and we act like it's society doing it. And that kind of pushes us into some really awkward spaces and awkward things. But I think when you talk about online, you and I grew up in the era where there was no internet. Oh, what there was
Whoa,
not there was
whoa,
no
whoa,
internet.
whoa. But see,
Paul, don't
you're a
don't do
little,
me, don't do
he
me
a little
right
bit
now.
more
Don't
seasoned. He a little more seasoned than
but
I'm dating an older man.
we did grow up in an era where
We.
the internet was not as prevalent as it is now. You know what I mean? It would when I was younger, when we were younger, it would be okay to leave home without your cell phone. That would be like, okay, cool, I'll get it when I get home.
Hmm.
But in today's world, I mean, we don't even go to the bathroom without our cell phone, which means that the internet and this whole online perspective now has completely changed, and we haven't really grown with it emotionally to ask ourselves a question: what do I look like online or what do I look like in real life? Should they be different? Should I portray exactly the same image? Or is it okay for me to portray some of it? Which the issue in that comes in, because not only are you sharing your life, your stories, other people are sharing theirs, and generally we're sharing highlights. So it kind of puts you in the position of like, oh my God, this person is doing that, this person is doing that, and what am I doing? And it kind of promotes this idea of hyperrealism, or what becomes just fakeness.
I want to note that you said generally. So I say generally and typically quite
Somebody's in their
often.
feelings about words.
And
We are
he gets on me, and I just want to note that he used the word.
right. Yeah.
But, and feel free to use it. I share that with you. But,
This is my moment where I'm just gonna stare into the camera because we're gonna deal with this
uh,
off air, because
uh-huh.
this ain't going on the internet.
No, here's my thoughts. I feel that most things come down to one, how comfortable are you being vulnerable, right? There is a difference between oversharing and vulnerability that I think actually exists. And there are times where I get on myself like, oh, am I sharing too much? But at the same time, with the business that I do, people knowing my personality and feeling like they have a sense of who I am is always beneficial. Why? Because relationships is currency. People like to feel like they know you. And I think even in us doing this podcast, there's a mixture of how much can we share about each other individually, as well as how much can we share about our relationship and how general should we keep it,
Just to be
because
respectful, right?
we want to be respectful of ourselves, we want to be respectful of our relationship, and at the same time we want we want y'all to feel like y'all know us. We want to feel like we know you when
Yeah, we
respond in the
definitely want to get to know
comments.
you guys in the comments for sure.
So there is this mixture. I think finding the right balance is good, but I think anytime you are going against your actual life, like, and making it seem as if you're living something
Right,
you're
like a
not.
completely different
Yeah,
life.
like remember when they had the Bow Wow challenge? Because they said he wasn't on that jet, and then there was
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
there was
yeah.
and not to say not Shad Moss, don't come for me, okay? Because I'm a huge fan back in the day. Not to say that he can't be on the jet, but they said the picture looked fake. So therefore they started to post a whole bunch of pictures of people living a lifestyle and then put hashtag Bow Wow challenge back in the day a few years ago. It was a funny challenge, but it's real. If you are trying to flick it up for the gram and you can't live that on a regular everyday basis and you're more concerned about what other people think of you, then please make it make sense for me. You going broke because of it, you losing sleep because of it. That's not the life that I think anybody should be living.
I think there's two sides to that coin for sure. Sometimes you save up for something really special and you splurge on something, and I think that's okay if you're comfortable sharing it,
Yeah.
that you can share that. Maybe that's not something you can do every day, but
Right.
that's cool to share. One thing that we're not saying, guys, is that you should be completely vulnerable online, because the truth of the matter is your vulnerability has worth, and
Mhm.
everyone does not deserve to share that. So
Mhm.
you should definitely find someone to speak to about whatever you want to share. And
Mhm.
I think that most of the time, if not 100% of the time, the internet is not a place to share your full vulnerability, because you're
Correct.
sharing it with the entire world, and not everybody really deserves that. However, just in likeness with what you said, I think that it is important for us to be honest about where we are, because if you're not honest about where you are, it kind of lowers the ceiling for you and where you can go. Because if you're working at the bottom and you're saying, hey, I'm here at the top, it kind of creates a sense of what's the word I'm looking for, uh like it creates self-esteem issues,
Mm.
because imagine you posted you just bought a jet and you're on the jet, right? And people start coming to you like, man, Lashandra, that is so dope, you got this jet, and girl, blah 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 blah, and now they're asking you questions, now you're
Mhm.
lying about it, and you're smiling in public, but when you go home you're like, wow, I'm just really a fraud. So I feel like that level is more dangerous to you, and it does worse to your self-esteem. It would just be better if you say, hey, listen, this is where I'm at, and check me out tomorrow. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
That's fair. So,
Fair.
moral of the story.
Moral of the story.
Okay, be honest about your
Why you
circles.
sounded like New York just now? Like, moral of the story. You don't even be talking like that. We talking about fake right now.
I thought
We
we
gonna
were
do a fake
focused
tally.
on the podcast at the
I
moment.
know, but I'm
and you
just
focused
I'm
on
just
me.
beefing because you did that little word thing at the beginning. I didn't really appreciate
Babe,
that.
you brought that into the
I
mix.
felt like I
Now
was
we gotta
beefing.
talk about that off
Yeah,
here.
we gonna go off here.
Okay. But moral of the story, okay, would definitely be one, stay true to yourself at all times.
Sure.
Two, be mindful of how much you're sharing. We don't want you to overexpose yourself.
Everyone
we don't wanna
doesn't deserve
expose.
your
Yeah.
vulnerability.
Because it's some snakes. Okay,
That
it's some snakes that exist out here
It's
that
the
are
hair.
looking
It's the
to
hair,
that are
guys.
literally observing you. So we want to make sure that you're mindful of those things. But lastly, be mindful of making anyone your idol. I would say that that's a big thing.
Wow.
Be-
That's a big bomb you dropped at the end of the episode.
Ooh.
We probably need to dig
Yeah,
into that.
boo.
But we definitely want to shout out our sponsors, guys. We appreciate you guys time after time coming back. We see the comments, we see all the love, we see the hearts, we see the thumbs ups, we see all the good stuff. We appreciate you guys on all the platforms. You guys are supporting us like crazy,
Clock
and
it.
we love you for.
Clock it. Am I doing it right? I feel
We
like I'm
promise we would not. This is.
I ain't promised I'm fine.
We still love y'all. Shout out to all our sponsors. Definitely check them out in the description. We got some amazing guys behind here that we could not do any of this without them. Shout out Pitch It. Shout out Able Society. Check us out on our personal pages. And we love y'all, man. Take it easy. What we got to say to the people before we let them go, baby?
You know we got to say the same thing every time. Life can be chaotic.
What?
But we got to survive it. So if nothing else, always
You got to make it make sense.
make it make sense.
Holla.
See you next time.
About that word thing. You knew you was lying about that word thing.
Babe, that you always think my words are fake. It's kind of weird. You think I'm like slow.
90% of the time, your words just be crazy.
No.
Before we even
Maybe
started,
we need to question your Dade County School education and why you don't know certain words.
why did we both go to Dade County schools?
No. I went to Dade County school for elementary for a little bit, and then I moved on.
So you went to
Broward.
Dade County?
I went to Broward.
Oh, so
I
you went to-
graduated from Broward.
So you went to Dade County.
I graduated from Broward.
But
I
you went to
finished
Dade
everything
County.
in the esteemed
But did you go to Dade County?
Broward County for a few years.